Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to cover this topic because of extreme current relevance in our society today, and I think its takeaway could be resounding to certain individuals. Now, I would like for you all to imagine for a moment that you are a business owner in a country, any country, and you are facing economic sanctions from a major trading partner. Your products can no longer be exported, and the prices of essential materials are soaring. How do you think this would affect your business? This is just one example of how diplomatic relations, or the lack thereof, can directly impact a nation's economy. My name is Kayla Hicks, and today I will be discussing the crucial role diplomatic relations play in shaping the economic communities of countries. As an international affairs major and economics minor, I've had the opportunity to study the complex dynamics that occur when countries engage or disengage diplomatically. Through this speech, I hope to provide a deeper understanding of how diplomacy affects trade, investments, and overall economic stability within a country. Let's begin by looking at the positive impacts of strong diplomatic relations can have on a country's economy. Diplomatic relations often lead to favorable trade agreements when countries maintain healthy relationships that are more likely to negotiate mutually beneficial trade deals. For example, the North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA, between the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and how this led to increased trade and economic growth across these three nations. By reducing tariffs and trade barriers, these countries fostered a more integrated and prosperous economy. The current administration, however, has been a major counterbalance to these relations. Diplomatic relations also grant countries access to larger markets, allowing businesses to expand globally, not only on the corporate but also on the smaller scale level. For instance, the European Union's diplomatic efforts have helped member states access to a vast singular market and promoting economic cooperation and trade across borders with other countries. These efforts increase the flow of goods, services, and capital, enhancing economic development in all involved parties. Now that we've seen how the diplomatic ties can bolster trade and economic growth, we can move on to the more negative consequences that can arise when diplomatic relations are strained. The first being economic sanctions. When diplomatic relations are strained, countries often impose sanctions on one another, which can cripple an economy altogether. Take, for example, the ongoing sanctions of North Korea. These sanctions, imposed by the United States and the United Nations, have severely limited North Korea's ability to engage in international trade, resulting in shortages of goods and struggling economy within the country. The next thing is disrupted supply chains. In addition to sanctions, political conflicts between countries can disrupt global supply chains. A recent example is the trade war between the United States and China, which led to tariffs on billions of dollars worth of goods, as well as the ongoing issue with Canada and the tariffs imposed by the United States. This not only affected the two countries involved, but also caused ripple effects across the globe, as companies in other nations were forced to adjust to new pricing and delays in supply chains. Moving on to the third point, while strained relations can harm economies, diplomacy can also play a key role in attracting foreign investments, which is vital for economics growth. We can kind of explore this. Diplomatic relations create an environment of trust that encourages foreign investors to do business in a country. The biggest example of this being the United Arab Emirates. They have bolstered the diplomatic ties to attract billions in foreign investments, especially in the real estate and tourism departments specifically. Investors are more likely to invest in these countries when they're stable, reliable with their diplomatic relations, because it lowers the perceived risk of doing business overall, and they don't need to risk money or any wars breaking out from it. Diplomatic relations also facilitate international partnerships that can lead to joint ventures and collaborative projects. The European Union's diplomatic efforts have enabled countries like Germany to collaborate with emerging markets in Asia and Africa, which markets that were not previously explored because they didn't really need to be, and also the Graph for Africa sort of strained that diplomatic relationship in itself. These specific ties are fostering economic growth through shared expertise and their shared resources. Now, wrapping up this discussion on diplomacy and its influences on economic growth, we can kind of see what we've covered overall. To conclude, we've seen that diplomatic relations have a profound impact on the economy. Strong diplomatic ties can promote trade, create access to larger markets, and increase foreign investment. On the other hand, strained relationships can lead to economic sanctions, disrupt trade, and hamper economic growth. Diplomacy is a tool that shapes a nation's economic trajectory by facilitating cooperation and its absence hindering growth. As we reflect on these interconnected natures of global economies, it becomes very clear that fostering strong diplomatic relations is not just about politics, it's about ensuring economic prosperity for nations and their citizens specifically. As individuals, it's essential that we understand how these diplomatic dynamics affect our daily lives, from the prices we pay for goods to the opportunities available for our businesses to grow. Thank you for your attention, and I hope this speech has provided a deeper understanding of the vital connection between diplomacy and our economies. Thank you.